In honor of Halloween, I thought who better than to have one of my good friends call in because he couldn't be here in the studio, but why not have him call in? Dom from The Creeps. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Andy? Pleasure to speak to you, sir.
You too. I feel like we're Twitter friends and Instagram friends, and we've like texted but never actually talked on the phone, so it's cool to hear your voice.
You too, man. Like, one day I'm hopefully, we'll be in the same room together.
Yeah, man.
In the near future.
Oh, absolutely, man. We definitely got to. Because you're living in Portland right now, is it, or Seattle?
I'm in Seattle at the moment, man, yeah.
So you're from the UK, though, originally, right?
Kind of both. I've been hopping around for a long time, but generally going from the northwest of one place to the northwest of another. So, yeah, split time. I first heard of The Creeps way back in like 2010, I think it was, maybe 2009. But it was whenever the game Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare came out. And you guys, you had the song down there, and Bad Voodoo, which is an amazing song. And then I remember Thank you.
At the time I thought, oh, this band probably just, they probably just wrote the song for this. But then I, discovered your guys' discography and then like Spirit Clinic, obviously later one of your records I really love. And how did that come to be? Because Red Dead Redemption is a pretty huge video game franchise. How did you land on that, man? How did that happen?
Oh, I mean, it was great and kind of a dream come true to work on something like that. The way it happened really was, years ago, I was super fortunate to be on a very hip London label called Output Recordings. And that label was putting out records by the Rapture and LCD Sound System and Colder, etc. And the guys over at Rockstar, specifically the music department, wonderful guy there named Andy, got in contact with me, and he just loved the label and the stuff I'd done on there. And he asked if I'd be up for having a track in one of the Grand Theft Auto titles. And, just over time, we kept in contact, and he was just always checking out what I was doing. Maybe a year later or something like that, he called me up and he said, hey, we've got this new branch of the Red Dead universe, and we think you'd be perfect for it. They just kind of gave me the brief, and I did write the song specifically for that game. So we kind of collaborated. It went backwards and forwards for a while. When we finally had something we really liked, they took it and put it on there. It was a really great experience working with them.
Definitely for me, it seems like one of those things, like when you're a guy in a band and something like that comes up, it's just so cool because it's not only is it, a lot of exposure and stuff, but like it's a cool game. It's such a cool game. It's almost like Grand Theft Auto, but I've always said it's like based in the Wild Wild West.
Absolutely. Such an immersive world. Personally, I thought it was way more cinematic and immersive than Grand Theft Auto, actually. And I had played the game and just thought it was amazing. And so to get the call for that kind of thing was really great.
And then you did Spirit Clinic. Do you play everything on your records, or are there like hired people who come out to play for Creeps records?
I play a lot of the stuff. I also have a host of Spirit that I drag over from the other side through my gear. I also have some wonderful friends in various bands, such as Chip Wickham, he's actually starting to become a really well-known Latin jazz figure, playing all over the world now. But basically anything that requires wind instruments like sax and flutes and things like that, he's the man. And I have a good buddy out here, Seth, who plays violin for me as well. Actually, it was kind of funny. During the Spirit Clinic session, he was asking me what kind of vibe I wanted to go for. And I said, I really want some of that kind of John Cale-esque Velvet Underground-esque string drone kind of stuff going on. He just looked at me really funny, and I said, hey, what's up? And he said, you do know that I'm currently related to one of the Velvet Underground. In fact, Doug Yule from the Velvet Underground built the violin I'm playing right now. And that was happening while we were tracking. It was a real example of crazy kismet going on there.
How small the world is, too. That's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I never expected anything like that. It's just, something I had in my head. And he said, oh, wow, well, you're talking to the right guy.
And do you think, are you waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2? Are you stoked for that game to come out soon? Because I know they keep pushing it back and it's been bumming me out. But I don't know if you planned on playing it or if you're just totally over the Red Dead thing at this point.
Oh, no, I think, I imagine it's going to be amazing, especially now we're one platform ahead, right?
Yeah.
And those games just get deeper and deeper and more detailed. And I'm always interested in what those guys are going to do next. I feel like they're always pushing the envelope of that kind of immersive experience, So despite the wait, I think it's probably going to be worth it for everybody, And
when you have to wait that long for a game, it finally comes out. It's like I haven't been let down by the Rockstar guys, at least not yet.
Well, ever. I feel like with those guys, it's just hit after hit. And honestly, some people get frustrated with the way projects get cut back. I mean, the way I look at it is just, I can't even imagine where I would begin to start thinking how to create something like that. I mean, it's so expansive and immersive and deep. What the hell am I going to do? You know, the extra year or a few months or whatever is truly going to be worth it for anyone that's going to dive into that, you know.
So what's next for Creeps? So you got some new tunes you're working on? I know you're still doing the comic book and stuff too. I don't know if you had a new record maybe in the works, or maybe a follow-up to Spirit Clinic.
I've been taking some time out for a little while, just to kind of just to boil things for a while, and then I give them the cream off the top eventually, you know. But in between Spirit Clinic and now, obviously we did the Grimm County Coroner's comic book and album, which was more like instrumental surf-based thing. I've actually been talking again to the publishers that put that out, Sex and Monsters. They're in California, and we're talking about doing something else soon, so it's going to be exciting. We're not entirely sure what it's going to be yet, but definitely one of those more kind of like 3D experiences we're trying to create for people, you know, in this digital world. Will Penny over at Sex and Monsters is definitely someone who understands like a more kind of 3D physical thing is something that we've always both enjoyed. I've been taking a little time to work with some other people too on some soundtrack stuff. I started doing some soundtrack work for the Frederator guys. If you know those guys, they do the cartoon Adventure Time. I just did a pilot cartoon for those guys, so that's coming out next. I'm really excited to work on that. And there's something else secret coming up later. It could take a while, but sound design, soundtrack kind of stuff is what I've been kind of working on at the moment.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm sure I'll get back to some tunes ASAP.
Oh man, we got to get you to play on the next Repeat album too. That's one thing I really want to make happen. So we're definitely.
You know, I would really love that as well, Andy. So you know, anytime you're ready, just let me know. I have a cacophony of sounds to throw your way. I've really been enjoying what you guys have been doing too. So you know,
thanks, man.
For that.
I appreciate that very much, man. We're talking to Dom from the Creeps here, man. I appreciate you calling in for the Halloween episode. I wanted to ask you one more question for you, because I noticed on your Instagram page a while back you had that, I don't know if you actually know the guy that makes the Funko toys, but did they actually make a Funko toy of you?
You know, it's another one of those funny instances where we put that Tales from Grimm County comic out with the soundtrack, and it just so happened one of the guys who bought it was the guy who invented the Funko Pop.
No way.
And he sent me a message, and he got in touch, and he said, "Hey man, this is like all my favorite things from childhood rolled into one." You know, he just wanted to send along his appreciation, and it turned out that he didn't actually live that far away from me, so that was cool. I got to go and meet him, and he showed me around the whole Funko place. He sculpted that thing.
Dude, so that is amazing.
Yeah, I was kind of blown away. He kind of presented it to me and said, "Hey, he's got this whole thing going where he's doing like custom horror versions of Funkos, you know, from like yesteryear, and really kind of lines up with all the things that I'm into, and we became pretty good buddies, and but he just based that on the comic book version of me."
It's so awesome, man.
It was incredible. Yeah, it's one of those crazy little things that happens somewhere along the way, and it literally just came from him enjoying what I did and me enjoying what he's been doing, and now we're good buddies. See where it goes. Yeah, it was real fun.
I made a joke once about a year ago, which is weird, but I made a joke, and because I buy some of the Funko toys, even though I'm a full-grown adult, I collect a couple of those things. And and I told somebody, I was like, man, it'd be cool if they did, like, you know, I started naming people, and I jokingly said it'd be so sick if they did Dom from the Creeps, or if they did Don Henley with a Hotel California he could stand in front of. So it worked out really perfect and weird, and I saw you actually had him. I was like, oh, the universe must have heard me. That's awesome.
Maybe they can do a crossover Dom Henley.
Ooh, dude. Oh, my God, that's amazing.
We'll have a zombie Eagles.
Dom Henley. It'll be trending on Twitter tomorrow. I love that. Well, I appreciate you calling up, man, and I know it wasn't easy with you sound great. I know you said you had some voice trouble, but you sound great, man, and you can come to Nashville, dude. We'd love to hang out and have a beer together, man. Please let me know.
It's got to happen one of these days, Andy.
Keep us up to date on all the Creep. I'm going to go ahead right now and play Supernova.
Great.